Los Angeles burns and dumping the fact checkers. It's 5 and 10 from Skywatch TV for Monday, January 13th, 2025. I'm Derek Gilbert. Item number 5 today, Los Angeles. The more we know about the story, the worse it gets. Gavin Newsom, we now know, proudly blocked the sharing of plentiful water from Northern California, snow melt, rainfall, because he was trying to protect a minnow-like fish called the Delta smelt. It's a bait fish about this long. It didn't work. The Delta smelt is all but extinct. Really, the only place you find it anymore are hatcheries. The streams, rivers that were supposed to protect the smelt by minimizing rainwater and snowmelt from flowing southward to dry Southern California didn't help the smelt. Again, only hatcheries keeping it alive right now, and the water that might have helped firefighters in Southern California right now is now in the Pacific Ocean. Meanwhile, the Daily Mail reported last week that a whistleblower shared a memo with the newspaper. This was written last Monday, the day before the Palisades fire erupted, that L.A. Mayor Karen Bass wanted to cut another $49 million from the budget of the Los Angeles Fire Department. Now, this is over and above the $17.6 million in cuts that she got in this year's budget. Another $49 million, according to LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley, that would have required closing 16 fire stations across Los Angeles. Again, this memo coming out just before the Palisades fire broke out. And this despite the fact that weather forecasters were advising the government of Los Angeles and the state of California that conditions were shaping up to be extremely hazardous. Very low humidity, very dry because of minimal rainfall over the last 9 months, and very high winds. We are watching the political careers of Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom go up in smoke. Oh, by the way, it's also now been revealed that to those of us looking in from outside who weren't part of the political campaign for mayor, the mayoral election last go-round, Mayor Bass promised during the campaign that she wouldn't leave the country during her term in office. Not only did she go to Paris 3 times for the Olympics, but she flew to Ghana for the president's inauguration there, again, the day before the fires broke out. Topic number 4, Greenland, Panama, and Canada. The left is up in arms because of statements incoming President Donald Trump has made about making Canada the 51st state, reclaiming control over the Panama Canal, and perhaps adding Greenland as a territory or another state. He said in an interview this past week that he would not rule out the use of economic pressure or even military force to take control of Greenland and or the Panama Canal. He was asked at a press conference at Mar-a-Lago if he'd pledged not to use coercive force on either Panama or Greenland. He said no, he cannot assure you on either of those two, but I can say this, we need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military, end quote. And now 25 years after Jimmy Carter transferred control of the canal to Panama, Chinese companies operate ports on both ends of the Panama Canal. Geopolitically, this is dumb, and sadly a big part of Jimmy Carter's legacy. As for Greenland, Trump said the United States needs it for national security purposes. Not only is it home to an important air base and radar installations looking for missiles coming across the North Pole from Russia, Greenland is rich in rare earths, which is a class of unique and uncommon minerals that are key to developing advanced weaponry, electronics, like what you're using to watch this program right now, energy, transportation technologies, including batteries for electric vehicles. It's also home to the Kvanfjeld, forgive me if you're Dutch, I'm totally blowing this, or Danish, I'm blowing the pronunciation. The deposit, believed to be one of the richest rare earth deposits in the world, also stuffed with uranium, which is kind of important, especially as we develop a need for more electricity in the Western world to power massive data centers and artificial intelligence. Now, as for Canada, we'll see. I know from friends that I had years back when I was selling steel pipe to the oil regions in around Fort McMurray, Calgary, up that way, that they're not really happy with what's happening in Ottawa. Be happy to be part of the United States. The rest of Canada, not so sure, but I think what Trump is doing is putting forward positions that he knows he's going to negotiate on, so he can give up something to let the other side save face while still getting what he wants, which is better deals on Canadian goods and services, especially Canadian energy products. Here's the thing. Donald Trump is definitely putting forward an America First agenda, but it's also starting to look like the North American Union that George W. Bush put forward and that Barack Obama tried to make happen during their presidencies. And these are steps along the road towards watering down national sovereignty that will ultimately result in a global government. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Topic number 3, Facebook fact checkers. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, announced that it is ending third-party fact checking. Many of us have experienced the joy of finding our posts fact-checked and declared to be false information. Well, CEO Mark Zuckerberg said the rules had become too restrictive and prone to over-enforcement. In other words, Facebook, which denied restricting free speech, has just announced it will no longer restrict free speech. Not surprisingly, the fact checkers fact-checked ending fact-checking and declared that to be false information. Hilarity ensued. I mean, seriously, the International Fact-Checking Network, which is a real thing, convened an emergency meeting after Facebook said, we're ending the third-party fact-checking. But Zuckerberg's taking it a step further. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast on Friday and announced that Facebook, Meta, is ending all of its DEI initiatives. So it will no longer hire based on inherent characteristics like race, creed, color, and so forth. In other words, the company that denied it was hiring based on discriminatory practices has announced it will no longer hire based on discriminatory practices. Topic number 2, Slender Man. You might remember this story from 10 years ago. The 2014 Slender Man case, where 2 12-year-old girls lured a friend out into the woods and then stabbed her 19 times to please a fictional character, a creepypasta, so-called, a crowdsourced horror character called Slender Man. Well, the stabber, the girl who wielded the knife, Morgan Geyser, she's declared that she is a guy now, so of course she is being let off early. Geyser and her friend Anissa Weir were 12 when they attacked Peyton Littner, who was also 12 back in 2014. Littner miraculously survived the attack, even though she had been severed major arteries. Her diaphragm was severed. She managed to survive. And Geyser's been held in a psychiatric facility for the last 10 years, but she was supposed to be there for 40. But now, just months after she has declared that she is now identifying as a male, which would suggest other, not just psychiatric, but spiritual issues, the judge has said, oh, okay, she's fine. She's no threat to the community. If you don't think this is a spiritual issue, you really need to take another look at the whole creepypasta and crowdsourcing of horror characters. It is, in fact, a spiritual issue. And speaking of, coming up, we're going to talk about an extreme example of the gender cult and how far people are willing to go to be a part of it. That's straight ahead on 5 and 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now you can help the Skywatch TV ministry continue to broadcast the gospel of Jesus Christ to the 4 corners of the world and receive your very own copy of this incredible new work when you order the Destination Earth Ultra Collection. This incredible collection not only includes the brand new book Destination Earth, Ancient Aliens, the Ancient of Days, and the ancient plot to hybridize humanity that reveals for the first time ever Christ's own words that refute the alien God interpretation, who and what aliens originally were according to the Bible, how they fit into the Antichrist's agenda, and more. But you'll also receive the documentary film, The Great Delusion, the second coming of Earth's oldest enemy, that exposes why the Vatican is in possession of a telescope named Lucifer, why the ancient and mysterious civilization known as the Anasazi suddenly disappeared from historic record, how alien abductions might be connected with Chapter 6 of the Book of Genesis, and so much more, featuring legendary interviews with Dr. Dr. Chuck Missler, L.A. Marzulli, Dr. Thomas Horn, Nick Pope, and more. But that's not all. You'll also receive the best-selling book, Encounters, Extraordinary Accounts of Angelic Intervention and What the Bible Actually Says About God's Messengers by Allie Anderson and Donna Howell. This paradigm-shattering work details true accounts of angelic intervention as told by those who have experienced them. It reveals how misconceptions regarding angels came to be and how the early church unintentionally propagated the myth that these beings are weak, and frameworks the fierce capacity of angels' powers, including their strength in warfare, ability to fly, and how they manipulate earthly elements to carry out God's will, and more. All of these items hold a retail value of over $65. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. Support the ministry of Skywatch TV today. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Destination Earth Ultra Collection right now.
Item number 1 today. This will curl your hair. A trans woman from Kansas City, by which I mean a guy who identifies as a girl, had 6 ribs removed to achieve a smaller waist, that hourglass figure that women aspire to, or some women anyway. 27-year-old Emily James dished out $17,000 for this elective surgery. Now, let us point out that the human body was designed with a specific number of ribs to allow our spine to operate in a certain way and also to protect our internal organs. Removing 3 from each side is not something the Creator intended. If there are problems with your spine or with internal organs down the road, this is not reversible surgery. And here's the thing that is really unusual. James has taken the ribs. He was given them in a little plastic bag by the hospital and intends to have them fashioned into a crown of his own rib bones. Again, I say, if you don't think this movement is spiritual, you just aren't paying attention. This week on Skywatch TV, week number 2 of our program dedicated to the new book that I was honored to co-author with Donna Howell and Allie Anderson, Destination Earth, about the UFO, UAP, alien contactee, abductee phenomena. This week we discuss a number of things, the strange connections between the UFO phenomenon and the JFK assassination. Yeah, it's weird, but it's there. Also, we explain why Nibiru, or Planet X, is not a real planet. It's just a bad translation of the ancient Sumerian word. That also is true. Don't miss the program. You can watch it right now at our website, skywatchtv.com. It's available over the air. If you watch over the air, our broadcast schedule posted, skywatchtv.com/channels. You can watch it on our set-top box channel, Skywatch TV channel on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, or over the internet, youtube.com/skywatchtv, rumble.com, or Skywatch Television, rumble.com/skywatchtv, or by downloading our free mobile app to your smartphone or tablet, whether it's iOS, Android, or Amazon Kindle Fire phone or tablet. We've got apps for all of those and links to the app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.